Cascade Gardeners. Great to see you again. Shayla Cook here on behalf of Cascade Water Alliance and the Cascade Gardener Program. I'm excited to bring to you David McGrath today, who is a horticulturist and irrigation specialist who regularly performs water efficiency evaluations on irrigation systems, helping people save water and money. He also teaches workshops on irrigation fundamentals, focusing on maintenance, design, programming, and smart watering practices. Welcome, David. It's great to see you again.
Thanks, Shayla. It's great to be here.
Well, it sounds like you're going to be showing us how to set up a drip irrigation system, so let's head out into the garden.
Hi, this is Irrigation Dave. Today we're going to be looking at installing a drip irrigation assembly for your garden. This is a battery-powered hose bib controller valve, and there's many different brands. This one in particular is called Dig. You can get this at Home Depot or any irrigation store. Orbit makes some great ones. Anyway, the controls are basically the same no matter what the brand. You have control over setting the time, the current time, the day of the week, and then you can choose how long you want it to run for. In this case, we're doing drip irrigation, so we want it to run for an hour. And then choose how many days a week. In this instance, you get to choose the days. So we chose Monday and Friday because it's getting a little cool out right now. Some controllers, it's an interval, so every 2 days, every 3 days, but they all pretty much work the same. You can also choose the start time. In this instance, we're choosing 4 a.m. before anybody's showering. Yeah, that's it. This is Teflon tape. Very important. Anytime you're dealing with water, anytime you're screwing something onto something that has water flowing through it, use Teflon tape. It basically makes a better seal in the threads. And you have to remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So you want to put the Teflon tape on in the direction that you're screwing something on. Otherwise, when you put it on, or when you try to screw something on, it'll bunch up. So you put about 2 rows of Teflon tape on there. Then you can screw something on. So every time you want to use Teflon tape. So the first component that you have on here is a timer, a controller. This is where you set your frequency and duration of watering, and you can choose what days you want to water, how long you want to water, depending upon how you're watering. The next after that is very important, and this is a pressure reducer and a filter. This filter will capture any of that. It's a very fine steel microfilm filter. And you want to make sure that you clean that at least once a year. But this will reduce the water, no matter how strong your pressure is. It will reduce it down to the desired rate that's posted on the side here. In this instance, it is 30 psi, 30 pounds per square inch, which is an ideal pressure for drip irrigation. So one good thing to know about is the difference between hose thread and pipe thread. So hose thread refers to anything to do with a hose, and it has a particular distance between the ridges that you screw onto. Now, once you get beyond this part right here, everything's based on pipe thread. So you have to have an adapter. They sell these adapters at any store, any hardware store, irrigation store, and it goes from hose thread to pipe thread. And this, the filter pressure reducer unit, is based on pipe thread, and everything afterwards is based on pipe thread. So you do need to make sure you have this adapter. They are not compatible. So we already talked about the adapter from hose thread to pipe thread, and we've got the pressure reducer filter. That's very important. But now we need to convert to something that will attach to a pipe, a flex pipe. So we've got a 3/4 inch pipe thread to pipe thread. It's just threaded all the way through. And that will allow us to use this adapter, which is readily available, to screw into it. On this side, there's a barb, and you just force the pipe on there. Now you're ready to go. You've got the entire assembly built. So once you get your pipe down to the ground, you want to secure it. This is a 6-inch metal ground staple, and all you do is hold the pipe still, put the ground staple on, push it in, but only push it in enough to hold the pipe secure. Don't push it so much that you pinch the pipe. All right, so the next thing you want to do is close off the end of your pipe. And you can use this little device. It's a figure 8, two little tubes. And what happens is you put the tube through one end, pull it through, bend it back, and then bring the tube up over the folded over end. I'll show you. So this is referred to as your source pipe. This is bringing water to the bed. Now we're going to decide how we want to water the bed. There's many different ways within the drip lexicon. This is a tool, it's a poker tool, and it will poke a hole in the source pipe, which we will then connect a smaller tube, and then we can decide on the end of that smaller tube what method we want to water with. So we'll go ahead and poke it. I actually poked the hole. So in order to connect your 1/4 inch tubing, you're going to want to have this little coupler. One side is pointy, one side is not. The part that's not gets worked onto 1/4 inch rubber tube. Pointy part goes in the hole that we made. Snap. And now we run the line into the garden. So we've got our 1/4 inch line coming in. This is a solid line. There's no water coming out of it. Now we switch to a 1/4 inch drip tubing. This has emitters in it that will release water at a certain rate per hour. And what you'll want to do is get another one of those couplers, 1/4 inch couplers, and you're going to insert it and attach it to the end of this. So we're now converting from a solid line to a drip line. And at the end of that drip line, we'll put what's called a goof plug, and it's basically an end plug for this. And then we're just going to wrap it around the root system of the plant. We'll use another one of the staples, put one on one side, one on the other side. And there you have it. That's going to drip water right to the root system of this tomato plant and give the water that it needs. So for smaller plants, you can use an individual dripper called a barrel dripper. And this just goes right on the end of your 1/4 inch tubing. And you can have a little stake that it pops into. Like that. And then you can put it right onto the plant that you want to water. Finally, you can actually put small sprayers on these if you want to have a larger volume of water. Again, just attach it to the end of your 1/4 inch tubing, and it comes with a small spike to put it in the ground. And these have adjustable heads to decide how much water you want.
Thank you for all your insight on how to set up a drip irrigation system. I think we can all successfully do it on our own. And if we have any questions, I know where to reach out to.
Thanks, Shayla. Thanks for having me.